Good afternoon. Hand today is King Jack of Clubs. So in this hand, it's going to be a hand that often comes up. Um, I see it quite frequently. So folds around, the cutoff raises. Cutoff's playing 30-17. I have 167 hands on him. When we look at his raise first in stat from his cutoff, this is basically he's raising 38, 3 out of 8. So I'm going to guess that he realizes some position and it's going to be a little bit wider here. So probably all pocket pairs, all suited aces. We'll give him these suited connectors that he's probably raising with, along with suited gappers. Probably all of his aces hands, maybe like that. That's 32%. 3 out of 8. I mean, if he had 4 out of 8, it'd be 50%. If he had 2 out of 8, it'd be at 25%. So I think this is probably a decent range. It's on us. I have button versus cutoff. I have calling at this range, and I think that's okay. We do have to check people behind us. So this guy's playing tight. I don't think there's any reason for me to raise to isolate this player. He's playing a little bit loose. His call is 28%. Pre-flop called 2 bets is 57%. So I think with some of these hands, I think we're going to probably have to 3-bet it just to try to isolate it, keep our position. But it's also not the end of the world if we limp and he calls, especially with some of these hands that have some equity. They have some implied odds with them. Let's see, his fold 3-bet set so far is 0 for 4. So I think we could probably raise and do fine with it. Now, which of these hands would we raise? I do think we're going to be raising ace jack, king queen, probably ace jack suited. I think king queen suited could be a raise. Probably raising maybe some of these ace 9, king 10, queen 10, jack 10. If we get a call, we've got some equity, but if they fold, we're okay. Whereas these, we've got some playability with them, so I think I'd probably lean more towards calling with these. I think we could also raise some of these small pocket pairs. So what did I do? I just called, and then of course villain 4 called, so we're going to give him pretty wide range. He's called 50%, so if we just do 50% like that and modify it, we'll take out maybe something like that. We're at 48.7. Do we have anything on him? Nope. Call 2 bets from blinds. Queen 10 off, jack 10 off, 10-9 off. I mean, that's all that we know. We don't know if he's got these kings, but I'm going to guess maybe he's got some of the kings in here. If we get rid of them, it's 46%. Maybe he'll do like 7-6 off instead of those kings, so at least he has some sort of draw. I think we'll do the draw. So now we go to the flop. So let's get my range here. I'm playing 9.35%. I have 124 combos. You can see that my range is actually going to be pretty good. It's kind of like a coin flip for all of us. So 33% chance to win. Now we see a board of ace, ace, queen. And I say this comes up a lot because, it's kind of a board that we could hit. Anybody could hit. And while anyone can hit it, which we're going to see is villain 4 checks, villain 2 checks, and now it's on me. So preflop raiser checks behind. Blind checks behind, so I'm going to say blind's checking. He probably is checking with his entire range. Out of 78 hands, he is not donked at all. So 0 out of 7, he's not donked. This guy has a c-bet range that's pretty high, 100%, 3 out of 3 when he's out of position, 75% when he's in position. I do think he's probably going to be c-betting any part that he connects with. So I'm going to say even all of these middle pairs, he's going to bet. I think the pocket pair below the board is probably going to bet. Flush draw, gut shots, these draws, maybe these pocket pair below the boards he doesn't. Let's say it's just middle pair plus and then his draws. That's still 66.8%, but he chose not to bet. He chose not to bet, so we're looking more at this. Two card backdoor flush draws. I think that will all be part of our no made hands. We will X out our flush draws and gut shots in those combos. So we're dealing with 33.2% is his range, and that is a pretty weak range for him. And you can see it. It is a really weak range. He's checking all of these hands. He could have connected, but he chose not to bet. Now, he could be slow playing, but with that C bet, I'm going to say probably not. His slow play would be quads. Quads or ace queen. So now it's on me. What do? Well, this guy's either still playing or he really does have junk. And that's 33% of the range. And now it's on us. What should we do? Well, I do think we could probably bet our three of a kind. We're going to be betting it for value. It looks like an ideal spot where everyone checks us and we're going to take a stab at the pot. So I think we're going to take a stab at three of a kind. That's going to be our value range. And then we're going to have probably an equal number of draws. So gut shots and flush draws we can bet. I think our flush draws and gut shots are kind of the combo. So it's about that. We're 26.4%. I do think we're going to be going with that. That I think we should be betting. So 26.4%, and we're about half value, half bluff, with the idea that we're going to probably be betting again just in case some of the calls are going to be some of the callers don't believe us, so they're going to call with, let's say, king jack king 10. They're going to call with maybe jacks and 10s and 9s because they don't think I have an ace, they don't think I have a queen. They'll call now, but then on the turn, if it's a bust that doesn't help them, which I think is going to be most of the cards, then we're going to fire that second bet, and I think we're going to get a lot of them to fold, which gives us value from these draws that miss on the turn. What did I do? I actually checked. So I think once I checked here, we're going to say we have middle pair, pocket pair, no cards. We will say we get rid of the flush draws, gut shots, flush draw, gut shots, and three of kinds. So that's our range. And I know, right? I remember my hand. I think this was a mistake. I should have bet it. As I work on it, I think I should have bet it here. So I got 78 combos. 5 of diamonds comes out. With that 5 of diamonds, I'm going to do this. Let's take the 5 of diamonds out. I think we're going to add this. This is our pre-flop raiser. Their flop range is just like this, which is 33.2%, or 102 combos. So add that. The other one is just, he's got a wide range. So just up, once we get that, you can see that I'm ahead of his range. We still don't know what this guy is going to do. But once he checks, I'm going to say that tells me a lot. So I do think he would be betting, probably not quads. I think checking's in his range, but a full house, I think he's probably going to bet, try to get some more value, try to get some value. Three of a kind's going to bet. I bet pocket pair. These 9s are going to bet. Middle pair, I mean, I think he's gonna take a stab at it once and see what people say. Pocket pair below the second card, I think he could check there, check there, check there. Maybe check his draws. So maybe check those. So I think he's looking at 64.7. You can see my equity versus these three. Once I checked, is 50%. Villain 2 checks. And now, again, yeah, he could have had a full house with quads, but I think he would be betting those. I think he's starting to give up. He's suspicious, so it's going to be 100% of his range. Well, 96.9%, because I think a full house would bet. and still you can see that I am ahead. And given that I checked here, question is, if I bet, do I think I'm going to be getting called at all? And I think this might be a reason why I might not bet a full house, is to protect some of my other draws. So you can kind of see that with my checking range, I do have a bunch of pairs. And the question is, if I bet them, what hands are going to call? I mean, I'm at 58%. I can bet for value. And the question is, what's going to happen? Definitely, I think the queens are going to be a great card. I bet a queen's going to be a great card. Let's check it out. No, actually, a horrible card for me, I guess. Any of these small cards, yeah, all of these green ones are going to be good for me. Any of those spades are going to be bad. Face cards are going to be bad. So I kind of think I'm going to be betting. I'm going to check the full house, definitely. Check the no made hands. But then I think middle pair we should be betting. I think pocket pair below the second cards we should be betting. Weak pair, I think you can make an argument to bet, and I think the weak pairs might be somewhat of a bluff. But I think that's our betting range. We don't have our draws because we already bet them. And then we've got weak pair, no made hand, and full house kind of balancing it out. What did I do? I checked. So once I checked, I think we're going to have something like this as our checking range. Checking range, and that ends up being 44% of our range and 33 combos. We have narrowed his range to 315 hands. This guy's range we've dropped to 93. So you can see when we checked, I think we've got some pretty major weakness going on. 4 spades hits. At that point, I don't think we can do anything. We've checked the flop, we checked the turn. At this point, I think we're going to be checking the river. So all of them check, and I think we can just kind of go through. Would he check anything? No, I think he bets his flush. So I'm pretty certain he doesn't have a flush. He could have weak pair or nothing, so that's his range. This guy checked again. I think he bets the full house. He's trying to get some value for it. His weak pairs. He has a lot of weak pairs. Nothings. I think he's going to be probably checking all those. Maybe jacks. He doesn't. Maybe jacks and tens. But again, pretty weak. And then it's on us, and we're going to be behind. I just think we're going to be checking. The only thing we're going to bet, I think, is a full house, and we're going to hope that we get called, that someone thinks, maybe slow plays the flush. But we should check. So this guy's got king 10 off. We don't have that in his range because I think I said he was going to bet his gut shots, but he didn't. So maybe he has these. He includes his gut shots. And then I don't know if that changes anything. So 5 of diamonds. No, doesn't. And then 4 spades. That would still be in there. He doesn't really have anything. So he's probably scared because he only had the gut shot. I would have assumed based on that it was pretty high, but board probably scared him. We showed king jack, and he shows 10-9. So does he have 10-9? Yeah, you can see 10-9 right there. He was just completely passive. So I think what happened for us was that we should have raised it. So we don't have king jack here. Once everyone checks to us, we should be betting. And I think we bet our gut shots, we bet our flush draw. So even with the gut shots, if we get called, we still have outs with our hand. We still have outs. So if we bet, yeah, there's a bunch of cards that are going to affect us. But actually, no, change that. So we should be betting these, that, and X out. Yeah, 3 of a kind. Hold on. There we go. That's better. Yeah, should we bet the middle pair? Something like that. I mean, any face card's going to help our range. Um, low cards do not, but if we throw in our middle pairs, the queens, doesn't really do much. Pocket pairs below, I mean, it doesn't really do a whole lot. It really comes down to those face cards. So that's I kind of think flush draws. This is where we made our mistake. We should have raised. We should have bet the flop. Yeah, he's a short-handed, but or short stacked at 60 big blinds, but that's okay. I think we bet 6 big blinds. If they call, this 5 obviously doesn't help. I think we fire again, and they fold. So yeah, both of them might. If he calls the flop, this guy probably calls the flop. I take that back. If he calls the flop, this guy probably folds. If he folds, this guy might call, but then on the turn to another bet, I think they're just going to fold. They're going to say, I don't like it. And if they don't fold, then even the 4 of spades is going to look pretty scary. I mean, can they really call 3 bets with those hands? No, probably not. But would I be able to make a third barrel? I don't think so, because I kind of think that they would say, or my thought would be, they're really only going to be calling here with the spade draw. All right, so here's the hand. If you like the hand, look tomorrow for another one.